Yo, 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 so many shelves, so many games, but many of them have never been played. But now I'm gonna pick up the slack, dog, by playing through my backlog. Oh yeah. Welcome to the Backlog, where I force myself to play a game in my collection that I hardly ever or never played. This time it's Chibi-Robo! For the GameCube, which I ended up playing all the way to completion. While I don't make it a rule that I have to play a game to completion to be in this Backlog show, I felt compelled to actually do so in this case because Chibi-Robo is spectacular. It's very similar to another game that I love very much. I'll say more about that game in a little bit here, but first, let's establish what is going on here. I am basically a humanoid Roomba that goes around cleaning the house. The family that lives in that house is dysfunctional. Mom and dad are having marital problems due to money issues, which is the result of the husband being unemployed and spending way too much money on things like toys for himself. The mom locks herself in the bedroom very early in the game as a protest to his behavior. They also have a young daughter who is going through a phase where she identifies as a frog. There are also toys around the house that are alive, and many of them are dysfunctional as well. There's a pirate in the basement who has a drinking issue, a dog toy who has fallen in love with an action figure. There's a mummy that is having body image issues. Despite cleaning being your #1 function, you end up getting involved with the lives of these family members and toys, helping them to improve themselves by doing various side quests. In addition, you have many limitations to how much you can do. A clock ticks down every day and night, and when it expires, you have to report back to your chibi house in the living room. You also have an internal battery that has to be recharged every once in a while at a power outlet, otherwise you die. As you progress, additional rooms of the house become accessible. When you do the cleanings and perform side quests, or when you have casual conversations with the family, you earn happy points and money. The happy points improve your battery life, and the money can be used in the shop that's inside the chibi house. You also learn a lot of new abilities along the way. All in all, Chibi-Robo is an adventure game, not unlike Mario Sunshine, which also has a cleaning element to it. There's a strong emphasis on exploration and problem solving. As you walk around and use the camera, you can see items and doorways high up on the shelves and the furniture, and you have to figure out how to get to them without running out of time and battery energy. What makes the game great, in my opinion, is how well executed everything I just described is. I get the feeling that the developers and playtesters worked overtime until this game was truly ready. The controls are tight, there is a noticeable lack of glitches, the environment is full of detail, the animation is silky smooth, the personalities of the NPCs are well fleshed out, and the sound effects and music fit the overall theme perfectly. Perhaps there's a reason why this game sells for $200 complete in box. My opinion of the game is very high, not only because of the things I just mentioned, but because I am partial to games that have you playing as a small character in a relatively large house, going under and behind furniture, climbing onto tables, going down drains, and that kind of stuff. It reminds me of the way I used to play with toys when I was a little kid. I had many action figures, but never had the large action figure playsets that they sold, so a table became a fortress, the carpet became the alien landscape, and the couch became the mountains. But a lot of my love for Chibi-Robo comes from the fact that it has a lot in common with Toy Commander on the Dreamcast, a game that I just adore. They have similar themes and graphical styles, both taking place inside a house, both involving interactions with toys that are alive. They both let you go down the drain. They both have a pet in the house. Chibi-robo has a dog, and Toy Commander has a cat. But while Chibi-robo is an adventure game, Toy Commander is a mission-based action game. I've now played through both of the games, and I still prefer Toy Commander. It has more rooms in the house, and you don't have to do as much cleaning as you do in Chibi-robo, and it has more boss battles as well. Then again, I may just like Toy Commander more because I played it first many years ago, so there may be a primacy effect of some sort going on. Needless to say, I'm glad I got to discover a game that is similar to Toy Commander, and I'm sure there's a few more games out there that are similar. So if you've never played Chibi-robo before, will you have the same opinion as me? If you were to start playing it, I would say that depends on how well you enjoy the cleaning parts of the game. You're going to spend hours scrubbing stains and picking up litter, only to have the litter and stains respawn after a couple of in-game days. I found it fun and sometimes even soothing to do the cleaning, but by the end of the game, it was starting to get repetitive. Luckily, the cleaning becomes less important as the game progresses. You eventually accumulate so many happy points, you don't really need to do the cleaning anymore, so you have that to look forward to. That leads me to something that negatively impacted my playthrough. I reached a point in the game where I had accumulated tons of happy points and lots of money, and I had nothing to use it on. Also around that time, I began to wonder how the game is supposed to end. I started to have the same conversations with the NPCs over and over again, and I explored every nook and cranny of the house to make sure I didn't miss something that would trigger some new event. It got to the point where I'm like, you know, I gotta look at a walkthrough. So I eventually consulted one of those text-based ones on GameFAQs, and as it turns out, I missed something big. Much like other adventure games, there is a main storyline, and there's also a bunch of side quests. My problem was that I had failed to trigger an event in the main storyline. I don't want to spoil things in case you get to the same point, so I'll be basic in how I describe it. There is one sentence that one of the characters said to me that I didn't really think was that important, especially since they only said it to me once. The characters in this game say a lot of stuff, so after a while you have trouble remembering everything they tell you. That sentence basically told me to use one of my special abilities at a certain location. I went ahead and did it, and let's just say the sequence that resulted was out of this world. From there, a lot of other events triggered, and I was able to beat the game about an hour or two after I had triggered that event. So basically, by missing the clue, I ended up being in an adventure bottleneck. I blame myself more than the game for that. The thing is, I try not to use walkthroughs on my first run through these games because I want the pride of figuring things out for myself. Plus, I'm afraid of seeing spoilers in the walkthroughs as I dig through them looking for the part that I'm stuck at. But in the end, I'm happy that I made myself play this game, and I will likely go back to playing it to reach 100% because there's still some things to do in the game. I'll see you in the next video, folks.